Hi everybody, it's Professor Malat and here is your syllabus overview video. So the syllabus you can access through the button on our homepage, or you can access it, and I'm not sure you'll see this on your video, you can access it in the left-hand navigation panel in our Canvas course page. So let's take a look at the syllabus. So as you know, syllabus can be an extremely lengthy document. It covers a lot of required material that students probably will never read, but we have to present it um, because that's the requirement that we have. So we have things like instructor information, course overviews, so on and so forth. So you've already met me, you've already looked through the course overview, hopefully. So now you are going to be watching this video. I will walk you through the highlights of the syllabus and hopefully it won't take too long. Of course, first and foremost, we want to make sure that you are in the right place. Prep Composition is a writing centered course that emphasizes careful reading, critical thinking, and persuasive strategies inherent in writing within the academic community. Um, However, it does not satisfy your degree requirements, but it does affect your grade point average. So, this is not the required English course that you have to take. This is a course that's preparing you to take that class. So, if you didn't do well in your high school English classes or you've been away from school for a really long time, you might feel like you're not the best writer, right? Maybe you struggle to put words together to make sense. So that hopefully you're in the right place. If you're confident in your writing skills, if you feel like you did well in your classes, then maybe you need to reassess and figure out if English 1001, the required course, is the one that you should be taking instead. This course, as I said before, does not satisfy your degree requirements for English composition. However, if you don't do well in it, it does affect your GPA. So, now that we know that we're in the right place, why do you have to take this class, right? Well, you're learning about college level composition, so you're going to examine concepts that are important to all writers, such as audience, context, purpose, things like genre awareness. You'll learn a little bit of research, how to work with sources, how to quote. We'll also be covering things like grammar and punctuation, and those basic usage problems that many students are plagued by. The course learning outcomes, of course, are very important. By the end of this course, you should be able to analyze the writing situation by examining audience, purpose, and context. Compose multiple genres for a variety of audiences and purposes, using sources as a foundation for writing in some projects. You'll apply appropriate composing processes and conventions to the writing situation. That simply means you're going to use proper grammar, standard English, punctuation, and you'll go through a series of brainstorming, drafting, and revision with your writing projects. You'll also learn to locate, evaluate, and synthesize source material appropriate to the research topic. And then lastly, describe what you know about reading, research, and writing processes and how you can apply that knowledge and those things in various contexts. So after each writing assignment, I ask you to complete a writer's memo. Um, and that is for you to think about your process that went into writing a particular piece. And we'll frequently have these, what I like to call metacognitive exercises, where you'll be given an opportunity to think about your writing and how it applies in your everyday lives. Um, the course format, of course, this is an online asynchronous class. We do not meet in person or even virtually unless you request it. I'm happy to meet with students virtually over Zoom or another platform, but it's not a requirement for this course. That way, you're not required to be in class at any designated time. However, you are required to be active within the course. You cannot wait until the end of the semester and submit everything all at the last minute. That is not the best way to approach this course. These things you can read through, breadth of knowledge, and associate and baccalaureate competencies. So let's talk about materials and technology. So we have a required course text. It's called the Writer's Practice, but ta-da, you do not have to go out and purchase it. I have made it available for you. In PDF format. It's available. You can read it online or download it at archive.org. But I have also broken up the chapters into separate PDFs so that you can come into Canvas, do the reading. You can either download it if you want to, save it to your computer, or just read it right in Canvas. Easy peasy, and it costs you nothing. Awesomeness. As far as other resources, lectures will be recorded, videos, websites, supplemental readings, all of those will be within our Canvas course page in the various weekly modules. Required technology, of course, you need a computer with reliable internet access. Although you can sometimes access the course through a mobile device, such as a tablet or a phone, it's really not recommended that you try to write 4-page papers on a phone. It's possible, but it's complicated. So if you don't have a computer, you can go to a library and log in through a library, or if you're available and you can get to campus, you can get a loaner computer through our UC library. There's information on long-term laptop loans through the campus where you're enrolled. I'm assuming most of you are enrolled in Claremont. If you're enrolled in a different campus, then of course you would contact the campus where you are enrolled as a student to make arrangements for a long-term laptop loan. There is also information on recommended computer specifications from Technology Services. So if you're looking into purchasing a laptop, it's good to know what kind of computer you should be looking for if you need it for other classes. You're expected to know how to use word processing software. So you can use Microsoft Word. All of the Microsoft Office applications are available to you as UC students for free. You just go into Outlook, and you'll see up in the left-hand corner of the page that little grid with a bunch of dots. If you click on that, it opens all of the applications that you are able to use through your UC account. If you don't like Microsoft, that's fine. If you're an Apple person, that's fine. However, please be aware that Pages, the Apple Pages, Canvas does not accept those documents. It can't read it, and I'm unable to read those documents on my machine because I have a Windows machine. So it's important that you submit documents that are able to be read both by the system and by the person reading them. So that means to put it in docx, or PDF format. And we'll learn more about that as the semester goes on. I have already told you about getting the Canvas for Students app for your phones and mobile devices. There are other required technical skills. Most of them, hopefully, you know how to do. You can read through the list of them. And so let's get to the meat of the syllabus, the assessments and activities, the things that you will have to do in order to be assessed and to pass the class, right? So you will write 4 formal essays. 2 of them will require rough drafts and revisions. We will also try to do some kind of peer review activities. I'm still refining how to do that best within this course. I've had various success and failures. So all formal essays, of course, must be typed, follow MLA guidelines, and be submitted through Canvas. Each final essay will be a professional document that communicates clearly and effectively to the audience. So you will also engage in multiple writing activities, including things like weekly journals, reading logs, discussion boards, and quizzes. Um, so we have a course schedule here. This is a rough course schedule that has worked well for me in previous iterations of this course. So we will try to stick to it as closely as possible. There will be a separate document that contains the proposed course schedule that you can download and print out if you want to. Always, though, defer to the dates that are posted in the weekly Canvas modules. These dates are not set in stone. Sometimes I have to be a little bit more flexible based on the students that I actually have rather than the students that I imagine I may have when I come up with the course schedule. But here's a basic overview of what we will be doing. All work, of course, is due at the end of the week on Sundays by 11:59, unless otherwise noted. Um, Also, I want you to note we do not have a final or a midterm for this course. There are no exams in this course. Your final submission deadline for assignments is the last day of this semester, and that falls on a Saturday. So it's Saturday, August 3rd. Everything else will be due on Sundays, but the last final, absolutely nothing after this date is Saturday, August 3rd. Um, so you'll see here we will have pretty much weekly grammar quizzes, um, as well as some other assignments. Excuse me. We do have a downloadable printable summer course schedule. That's a PDF. Some notes about the grading. You need to pass this class with the minimum of a C minus, a 70%. Any lower grade means you will need to retake the course. If you get an NP, which is a non proficient designation, that does not affect your GPA. However, if you just kind of give up and don't submit assignments, you will get a UW grade, which acts the same as an F for the course. You'll still have to take the course again, but that does mess up your GPA. So every effort that you put into the course to do well will work in your favor. So again, we have the grade criteria, the percentages. It is a weighted grading system that I have here. Obviously, the formal essays count for more. We have 40% of that will be your formal essays. Discussion boards, which includes 2 peer reviews, will be 20% of your grade. We have 3 worksheets, which will be worth 30% of your grade. And then we have 10 quizzes for the final 10% of your grade. Please note that each informal assignment, so the discussion boards and quizzes and worksheets, I will drop the lowest grade. But for formal essays, I do not drop the lowest grade. It's expected that your work will be handed in on time. You will submit everything on time. I realize life can happen, and if you need me to be flexible regarding when you can submit an assignment, I'm happy to accommodate you. My one condition is that I ask you to communicate your need for an extension. I don't need to know the reason why. I just need you to communicate with me. You are adults, so I'm going to treat you as adults. Here is a sample assignment extension email. I would say 99% of the time, students who reach out to me and ask for an extension, that extension is granted. Again, I do not need to know the reason that you need an extension. I'm happy to give it to you. There are some assignments where I cannot extend the date, and that is usually the last assignments of the course. But typically, I'm happy to be flexible when you need me to be flexible. Please do not abuse this policy. Don't take advantage of it. Don't be chronically late. make every effort you can to get your work done on time, because that will help you to move more smoothly through the course. I believe in providing multiple attempts for you to improve your skills as a writer. So most of the assignments are left open for unlimited submissions. The exception to this is that I provide 3 submissions for each of the formal essay revisions, and the quizzes are also capped at 3 attempts. Quizzes are self-correcting exercises to help you learn the material rather than test your memorization and recallability. So that's why I allow you to do multiple attempts. You will see your answers and your results right after you do the quizzes. So if you want to go back in and get a perfect score, good for you, right? Some students are like, "Oh, I got 8 out of a 10. That's it. I'm done," right? But if you want 10 out of a 10, go for it. Again, I won't accept late work when it's past the last day of the semester. That last day is Saturday, August 3rd. Here's the grading scale. You can look at the breakdown there. And then again, a note about the C minus. You have to have a 69%, a 70% or above to pass the class. 69% or below is below a C minus. That will be the NP grade. As I said, you must submit all formal essay assignments to be eligible for that NP grade. If you give up, if you don't submit things, failure to submit things, you will result in a grade of a UW, which turns into an F. You can withdraw or drop the class in Catalyst according to the dates and deadlines, which are at the bottom of the course syllabus here. And in special circumstances, I can give an incomplete. It just means that we have to work closely together to make sure you actually complete the work. So if for some reason there's a medical or a personal emergency, illness, so on and so forth, um, that prevents you from completing a small portion of the course requirements. So let's say you got through 75 or 80% of the course, and then something happened and you had to kind of pull away from academics for a while and take care of things. You may ask for an incomplete, or I may suggest it to you if we've been in contact and I understand what your situation is. An incomplete contract has to be agreed upon. So, if it comes to that, it comes to that. The classroom procedures and policies, there's a lot of things that you can read through yourself regarding religious accommodations. I do want to talk a little bit about academic integrity. So academic integrity, we also call this like the plagiarism clause in the syllabus. All work that is submitted for this course must be your own and not the work of others, whether it's from another person or it's generated by a machine. And by a machine, I mean AI, artificial intelligence. So things like ChatGPT or whatever Google's version is, it's a no-go for you to use those to write your assignments. Just as you wouldn't ask another person to take an exam for you, you're not going to ask another person to write your whole paper. So that includes AI, such as ChatGPT and all the rest. That said, AI can be a helpful tool, and I will show you ways that it can help you, the acceptable ways that you can use AI to work through some of your writing assignments. All drafts and formal essays are run through the Turnitin system, and your similarity score is visible immediately. You can read more about that by clicking the link here. I don't solely rely on Turnitin's AI detection because it is flawed. However, it does usually raise some flags for me to look a little bit more closely at the writing to determine whether or not I think it is AI generated. That said, As I said before, I'd like to give multiple opportunities for students to improve and to learn, and I see this and any other instances of plagiarism as a learning opportunity for you. That does not mean immediate failure right off the bat. It's an opportunity to have a discussion, to show you the error of your ways, to show you what you can do to improve and learn from the situation. And if you make good on that, then we're good to go. If you ignore the situation, then of course you're going to fail the assignment and possibly fail the course. There is a whole outline of the University of Cincinnati academic integrity policy that I expect you will read. Borrowing the words and ideas, etc., of another without proper attribution, that is, citation, documentation, is a form of plagiarism, regardless of intention. There are information on accessibility policies. I've been working hard to make sure that all of my documents that I post are accessible, that all of my videos are closed captioned. Closed captioning isn't perfect because I let YouTube take care of that. And sometimes it's just a little weird because it's trying to figure out what I'm saying. But for the most part, my videos are closed captioned. Um, if you find material that needs to be updated with accessible information, whether you're hearing or visually impaired, please let me know and I will work with you and try to get you a good copy that will be useful to you. Attendance. So we're not meeting face to face, right? So you pretty much think, well, we don't have attendance. However, it is expected that you will log into Canvas several times during the week, right? You should, at the very least, be logging in twice a week. Log in on Monday to see what the work is for the week, and log in again on Sunday to submit your assignments. I know how often you access Canvas. There's a way for me to see that log. So please be aware. Communication, you can read through all of that. Technology use during class, it's not during class. Notice of non-discrimination, I have an inclusion statement here. So if you have a preference on how you want to be referenced in this class, whether it's pronouns or names, please, if you're comfortable with that, you can share that with us or share it in your profile. And I'm happy to honor that. Classmates and instructor will respect your wishes and refer to you by your preferred name and pronouns. I want our class to be an inclusive and welcoming space. And that just means, being decent human beings to one another, right? Okay, student resources. I told you a bit about that. There's more information here, as well as the dates and deadlines. A couple things to make note of. The last day to drop is May 20th. So that is, you would drop the class and you get your money refunded to you. If you stay in the class past that date, you could still withdraw, but you don't get any money back. You just get a W on your transcript. That does not affect your GPA at all. Sometimes students find out that they can't really handle it. They're just juggling too much, and they have to withdraw from class. So the last day to withdraw is July 26th, which is like a week before we end the semester. Holidays, we have Memorial Day, there are no classes, Juneteenth, and Independence Day. None of those really apply to us because we are virtual learners, right? However, if you are taking a vacation and you won't be here during the week that Independence Day falls or Memorial Day falls, please let me know so I'm aware. And, if you need an extension, I'm happy to give it to you, but again, don't abuse that policy. Okay, so that is the course syllabus. I expect you to read through it. as I said, it's a long document. That's a lot of scrolling there. So I get it that it can be tedious to go through, but at least we've hit the highlights in this video and you get the basics here. All right. Take care, everybody. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch. Bye bye.